Hello geometry students, this is Mr. Kolk. Today is April 1st and what I like to do is actually show you 3 or 4 examples that I assigned for homework today because I was thinking you may be a little confused, so hopefully this will help you. Please watch this video, study the notes and then finish your homework, and tomorrow we'll practice with more examples. Okay, so let's start with question number 1. So in question number 1, you have a trapezoid, okay, and the picture is given here. So if you recall, for number 1, area of a trapezoid is equal to 1/2 times the height times the sum of the two bases, b sub 1 plus b sub 2. Now b1 means one base and b2 means second base. Please remember, by definition, the two bases are they are parallel, okay, but they cannot be congruent. So in this case, height is 12 feet, one of the bases, the length is 16 feet, and the other one is 6 feet. So let's substitute, okay, so it will get area is equal to 1/2 times 12, and then I will do 16 plus 6. Now half of 12 is 6, and please remember, now you have to do parentheses. 16 plus 6 is 22, okay, and if you do 6 times 22, let me think about this, 6 times 22, I get 132 square feet. Okay, so this is the answer. Okay, so the answer to question number 1 is 132 square feet, and I hope this is the answer in the back of the book. I don't have the answer key. Let me also do question number 3. Number 3 is kite. Okay, so if you look at your notes or the video that I posted before, the formula for the area of a kite is 1/2 d1 times d2. So area is equal to 1/2 d1 times d2. Now do not confuse d and b. B stands for the base, D stands for diagonal. Okay, diagonal. So there are two diagonals in a kite. So look at number 3. If you look at the picture, one of them is 17 meters long. The other one is 21 meters long. Okay? So if you do your work, it will be 1/2 times 17 times 21. Okay? And now I'm going to use a calculator, so I do 0.5 times 17 times 21. The answer is supposed to be 178 and 5/10. So the answer is 178 and 5/10 square meters. Please remember, we are talking about area. Okay? So look at the two formulas. Area of a trapezoid is 1/2 h times the sum of the two bases. Kite is 1/2 the product of two diagonals. Okay? Now let's take a moment, probably 3-4 minutes, and look at question number 5. Number 5 is more challenging because we have to work backwards. Okay, I will copy the picture for you. In question number 5, they told us that the area of the trapezoid is equal to 78 square centimeters. I'm gonna ignore the units for a minute, okay? And the picture they gave us looks like this. 13. Okay. The height is x, and this is 6.4. Okay. So now I give you two bases. Another question is, what's the height of this trapezoid? Please remember, x stands for the height in this case. Okay, so the area will be 1/2 h b1 plus b2. So 78 is equal to 1/2 x, because height is x, and this will be 13 plus 6.6 and 4 tenths. So 13 plus 6.4. You could write it the other way, 6.4 plus 13, doesn't matter. So 178 equals 1/2 x, 19.4. Half of 19.4, half of 19 is 9.5, 9.7 I believe. So 178 is equal to 9.7x. Divide both sides by 9.7. Okay, so 178 divided by 9 and 7 tenths. The answer is 18.3. Something is not right here. Half of 19.4. 9.7. 178 divided by 9.7 is... Oh, I see my mistake. 78, not 178. Okay, so this is supposed to be 78. So 78 equals 9 and 7 tenths x. If you divide by 9.7, x is equal to 8, and the units are, in this case, centimeters. Okay, excellent. My typo. You see 178 divided by instead of 78, and everything was incorrect. Okay, let's do another example. And I want to do question number 19. Okay, so question number 19. In this example, the area of a rhombus is 168 square centimeters. If one diagonal is 3 times as long as the other, what are the lengths of the diagonals? Okay, so for number 19, the most important thing is, let's draw a picture. Okay, so you have a rhombus. Made it too big. Let's make it smaller so I can show you the work. Okay, so let's do it again. Let's make it tiny. So that's your rhombus. And by definition, opposite sides are congruent. They're all congruent sides. You know, we know all the things. So the area is 168 square centimeters. So area equals 168 square centimeters. One of the diagonals is 3 times as long as the other one. One of the diagonals is 3 times as long as the other one. So think about diagonals. One of them is in red and the other one is in blue. And by definition, they are perpendicular, so I can use the formula area is equal to 1/2 d1 times d2. It's technically a kite. Okay? So, if one of them is d, the other diagonal would be 4 times as long. Sorry, 3 times as long. So the other one will be 3d. So think about this. One of them is d, the other one is 3d. So let's substitute. 168 equals to 1/2 times d times 3d. Okay? Now algebra. 168 is equal to 1/2 times 3 is 3/2. D times d is equal to d squared. So now what I have is this. 168 equals 3/2 times d squared. Okay? Let's not work with decimals. Let's use fractions. Okay? So now if I divide by 3/2 or multiply by reciprocal, 168 times 2/3 will be 168. If you think about it, it's 168 times 2 divided by 3. You get 168 times 2 divided by 3. You get 112. So you get 112 is equal to d squared. Okay, again, how did I get the answer? I divided by 3/2 or multiplied by reciprocal. And now, how do you get d by itself? Okay, to get d by itself, you take a square root, and if you take a square root of both sides, the answer is 10.6. So d equals 10.6 units, and the units in this case are centimeters. Please remember, when you solve this quadratic, you get two solutions, negative and positive, but please remember, distance cannot be negative. So one diagonal is 10.6 centimeters, or 10 6/10. The other one is 3 times as long, okay? So to get the other one, so d2 will be 10.6 times 3, times 3, not to the third power. But the other one will be 10.6 times 3, so 3 times 10.6. I'm sorry. 3 times 10.6, and the answer is about 31.8. 31.8 centimeters. So those are the two solutions. I hope this helps. Okay, so please watch the video, do the homework, and tomorrow we'll practice more. Okay, so hopefully now it is a little bit easier. Okay, thank you. Bye bye.